what you think.
This steakhouse is unlike any other you've been to. Keep watching to find out if this cut could be your favorite as well. Would your reaction be the same?
Oh my god.
The translation of Gojijib is meat house or go home.
We got some reservations, let's go. One of the most challenging things I find being a dad, trying to please my son.
Emotional, damn it!
And finding a place for him for his birthday, right? So I like to go to chasing menus and steakhouses, and he happens to like a simple pho and maybe some Korean barbecue. You know, trying to find a place that happened to have a decent menu and a tasting menu, in fact. You know, we get some things that we see on Instagram or social media, and we happen to come across this particular restaurant. I happen to have the traditional steakhouse quality meats, aged beef, A5 Wagyu, and I found it totally interesting on that side. At the same time, they have trained chefs.
My name is Simon Kim, owner of Cote Korean Steakhouse.
My name is David Shim, Executive Chef of Cote Korean Steakhouse.
Very strong in what they do in terms of developing flavors and a lot more to make a menu that really amplifies what you want to have in a tasting menu. Has made it a 1-star Michelin restaurant. So let's check it out right now.
Walking in felt like a nightclub than a steakhouse or a Korean barbecue. The place was already packed at 5 p.m. Thank God we had reservations as we were seated immediately and given the extensive menu. But we already knew that we wanted the Steak Omakase to enjoy all kinds of beef. What I really liked was that the menu explained a little of what kinds of steaks were being served, from American Black Angus, American Wagyu, to Japanese Wagyu A5. They also explained the cuts of beef. Comment below your favorite cut. We started with a consommé, which had a familiarity with tree bark flavor as an amuse-bouche. I was expecting a little bit more. Cheers with the fresh brininess of the East meets West oysters, topped with sea urchin that tasted like the sweet umami ocean. There's something magical about topping Kaluga hybrid caviar on high-quality, hand-cut filet mignon tartare, serviced with buttery milk toast bricks. The crisp and then fluffiness of the buttery sweet toast combined with the saltiness of the caviar seasoned the beef flavor of the filet. Made me wish this was a bigger serving, and that bottom of the bowl arrived too soon. This really set the stage of what's to come. We usually go with simple water as our beverages, but why not try some zero-proof drinks? This is the Ruffian. It's a complex drink that you will have to read the ingredients list in the comment section below. I will say this, it is quite tasty. Here's the Ambrossi, which mixes slightly sweet Lears, Italian orange with sweet and spicy vermouth Rossi, and tossed non-alcoholic wine. This is a sugary drink with bite, which I liked. We chose the plum flavor of ume from Camino. This technically is a Japanese brand. It was a balanced hint of sweet and tart, though I would have liked a Korean drink instead, since this is a Korean barbecue. That one's pretty good. Now we are getting close to the steak. But first, here comes the banchan, an assortment of seasonal vegetable accompaniments. Starting with the lettuce for making lettuce wraps, the scallion salad with the acidic gochujang vinaigrette, pickled daikon radish sticks, wood ear mushrooms, pickled cauliflower, pickled okra, and soy mustard vinaigrette. Now, here is the selection for the steak tasting. Starting with the prime filet mignon, followed by the skirt steak, then the 45-day dry-aged ribeye cut. This is the 45-day dry-aged ribeye close to the bone, prime American Wagyu, and always excited about the Myazaki A5 Waygu. And don't forget some mushrooms and rice cakes. With quality meats like this, just seasoned with kosher salt. Now it's time to prep the grill with the dry-aged fat trimmings from the butchering. Let's add the filet mignon and skirt steak. While the steak grills, I want to eat some of that scallion salad, which was crunchy and sweet. In fact, they have this cutting machine because it would take forever to slice the amount of scallions they serve every night. The pickled okra was slightly sweet, refreshing, and also had a crunch like a crossover of bell pepper and cucumber. Usually it's just slimy and rubbery. This Samjang sauce has tones of spicy sweet with fermented funk, and it's a Korean staple. I know you've been waiting for the steak, but I have to show you this other Korean staple, which is kimchi. This one happens to be on the sweeter side, not too spicy. And then on the diced daikon, just as pleasant. With Korean barbecue, it's common to take the grill ingredients and make a lettuce wrap. Add a little samjang, some scallion salad, and finally we get to the steak that we came for. Here is the filet mignon to kick things off. And thank you for your patience while we do this. What's coming up, you're really going to like this steak extravaganza. The temperature is cooked to medium rare, just the way I like it. Before we get to the lettuce wrap, let's taste this naked slice. The interesting thing about Asian cooking is that the ingredients are cut into mouth-sized portions because the use of chopsticks. As in olden times, Asia did not have fork and knife utensils. Well, this fillet was delicious and very tender, and by cooking smaller pieces, you get a crust with each bite. Let's put down the chopsticks and dig into this lettuce wrap. One of the things I look for in a bite of food is a contrasting texture that adds another component of dimension. Otherwise, might as well just eat mush. So, tell me, do you eat to live or live to eat? Comment below. Here is a skirt steak cut over perilla lettuce for another wrap. Add some samjang and a crunchy scallion salad. This looks like a taco with 0 carbs. While the skirt steak is tasty, it is a tougher cut of meat as compared to the filet. As you can see me struggle to finish that first bite. Perilla has a minty, licoricey taste that made the bite refreshing, then let the beef flavor shine afterwards. So it looks like the mushroom is ready. Let's take a bite. It's a basic mushroom, no seasoning at all. They keep adding dishes. So here is the jeranchim, which is an egg souffle. If you had not had eggs this way, you need to get an order. Next up on the omakase is the eye cut of the 45-day dry-aged ribeye without the accompaniments. This section is very tender and flavorful, similar to what you would get at a great American traditional steakhouse. A little bit more salt would have been just right. Now for the lettuce wrap, which makes it more Korean. What can I say? It's just delicious. However, I will say that the lettuce wrap has more complex flavors than just the beef alone. So how does the 45-day dry-aged ribeye cut closer to the bone compare? It's just as flavorful, but has more connective tissue because it's closer to the bone. On the grill is the American Waygu. It has more marbling than the ribeye, and the expectation is that it will pack lots of flavor. So get in my belly.
Get in my belly!
So we've been waiting around 90 minutes for this Japanese Myazaki A5 Waygu. It was sitting there on the cutting board, waiting to be grilled. Take a look at that marbling, packed full of fat. What makes this different from any other A5 we've had in the past is that this is not your typical thin slice of steak. This steak has been cubed to give a different mouthfeel that allows and enhances the rich, flavorful beefiness. Since this is not a thin slice, there is more fat to render in your mouth. Check out that crust that is crisping up because the fat caramelizing just like pork belly.
All right. Well, so Myazaki A5.
Nice. Thank you. Let's take a moment to get my reaction.
And what do you think, the Japanese?
The suspense is terrible.
Oh my God! You gotta eat that by yourself. It's really like butter, meat butter. Meat? Wow.
Yes, yes!
This steak literally melts in your mouth. It truly is unlike any other steak around. Next up on the tasting menu are the dishes of noodles and rice. This is janchi samyeon, a Korean angel hair with thinly sliced American Waygu poached in a piping hot clear anchovy consommé. The warmth of this soup matched well with the noodles, but the Waygu here was underwhelming and should not be served this way. Here is the Bibim Samyeon, a cold and refreshing Korean angel hair, apples, gem lettuce with gochujang vinaigrette. The noodles had the right bite, and the gochujang was not overpowering. Here is the Waygu beef over white rice, topped by an egg yolk and shaved black truffles. On the side was some seaweed and some soy sauce. Really didn't get much flavor from the beef. And I was thinking the black truffles would have a stronger influence over the dish. But it was the yolk that shined, that made it a good dish. I still can't believe there's another steak course. Here is this house special Cote Galbi, which is a short rib marinated in orange, apple, and pear juices, and considered the dessert steak.
Sweet side to it, very tender. It's very, very tender too.
It was a great combination of sweet and beefiness to prepare for the dessert selection of the omakase.
And what are we having for dessert?
Pink pineapple. Pink pineapple.
Not too sweet.
Will this soy sauce ice cream work?
They give you like a wooden spoon, like you're back in school or something. It works. Caramel with soy sauce, a little salty, sweet.
Cote's steak flight was a unique presentation of different cuts to compare that made it a great experience. Some touches I'd like to have in a Michelin starred restaurant would have been new plates with each steak course. Otherwise, Check out my other steak reviews.